they were. And there was a moment where more and more people had heard about our vision and where more and more people were finishing my sentences when I was speaking about the platform of freezing the rent or making buses fast and free. And that was when we started to realize that, in fact, it wasn't even just going to be the same electorate as 2021. This was going to be a new electorate, one that looked more like the city itself. And that had long been a goal of ours, because it is all too easy to say that democracy is only under attack from authoritarianism from the outside, when in fact it's also under attack from a withering faith from the inside as to its ability to not only relate but respond to the most pressing crises in working people's lives. And so fewer and fewer New Yorkers have been participating in that democracy. And we had looked at 2021 and how only 26% of Democrats had turned out at that time, and 74% stayed home. And one of our hopes was to get more New Yorkers to register to vote, to get more Democrats to come out and vote in a primary. And some of the most exciting aspects of these results were the fact that we changed the nature of this electorate. We brought so many more younger voters in. We brought so many zero prime voters, as they're described. And we even saw the voter registrations in the last 10 days of this primary changing from about 3,000 to more than 30,000, and that being indicative of more people seeing themselves in our politics.
So I'm sure some strategists told you along the way that this is one of the hardest things to do, right? On the other hand, it's strategically, I guess, common sense. If you play by the old rules with the old electorate, Zoran Mamdani loses. If you redefine the game and bring in new players, you have a shot at winning.
And I think we were told that by many in the beginning, and I understand where they're coming from, because frankly, the idea of redefining the electorate has been spoken about many a time, and it's very difficult to do. And what made it possible was that we were not doing this alone. There were so many incredible partners in this fight that were speaking directly to the New Yorkers who've lost the most faith in local politics to actually be able to deliver in the crisis in their lives. And ultimately, the most powerful messengers in speaking to New Yorkers are New Yorkers themselves. And we found that so many people came out to vote because of a conversation they had with a canvasser at their door, because of a phone call they received, because of a moment that was far more.
Man, the environment is so fucking ripe, dude. The people are agitated. The people recognize that that change is a necessity. It's actually shocking how the endless faucet, the endless torrent of hate did not cause Zoran Mamdani to fucking lose votes at all.
Reflective of their life than the way in which they had engaged with politics before, in 30-second increments on their television screen or in mailers.
I feel very hopeful.
Oh, talk a little bit about what life has been like, not just today, but even since last week. Who's reached out to you that may have surprised you? Who got your phone number that you never in a million years thought would call you?
You know, I can tell you one of the most enjoyable surprises was on election night getting a phone call from Mayor Wu of Boston, because I had long looked at that moment when a number of mayors across the country went to testify in Washington, D.C. And the one that I wished most was our mayor, was Mayor Wu, and looking at the way in which she's led that city, and also her passion for making buses free there as well. And the results that we saw in the number of routes that she made free, especially Route 28, were inspirations for what we've sought to do here. And in that conversation, and in the many that I've had with so many incredible leaders across the country, there was a real understanding of the partnership that this city could have with so many others looking to showcase an alternative to the politics we've seen in Washington, D.C., politics of exclusion, when in fact what we need in this moment is a politics of the future, where we not only recognize the belonging of each and every person that calls this city their home, but deliver for New Yorkers to actually have somewhat of an easier life in a city that they can actually afford.
Well, okay, there's at least one political leader who you heard from and about today. I'm sure you've heard it, but let's listen to some of what President Trump, the President of the United States, had to say about you, and then I wanted to get your reaction.
Mr. President, your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zoran Mamdani, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zoran Mamdani?
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, We don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully. A lot of people are saying he's here illegally. We're going to look at everything.
Much of that, of course, was false. But I'm particularly interested. This kind of wild talk can actually result in harm in the real world. I was wondering, I guess, first your reaction and whether or not the NYPD has assigned you any additional security.
I'm lucky to have security throughout the day, and I appreciate the work of the NYPD.
It's time to crusade Iran and Gaza. Mamdani communists. Let's go to war against the left. Hassan Piker getting beat up soon. Mamdani is such an idiot. We will fight the left before they elect the communists. Every infidel shall be hung for treason. Hang Mamdani for treason. Hang Hassan for treason. Fuck yes. Yes. Okay, chatter. Good luck.
And making that a reality for me, but also a reality for New Yorkers at large. And ultimately, what we're seeing in President Trump's rhetoric is an attempt to focus on who I am, where I'm from, what I look like, how I sound, as opposed to what I'm actually fighting for. Because to do so would be to display the stark contrast in our sincerity and actually delivering for the very working people who've been left behind by our politics, compared with what President Trump has been able to do. Over the same period of time that I've been running has been the moment where President Trump ran a presidential campaign premised on making life easier for working class Americans, on making cost of living that much lower, on actually having cheaper groceries. And he's been unable and uninterested to deliver on any of that, instead focusing on cruelty in the manner that we've just heard today. And what I would tell him is that the last person who couldn't get my name right, we defeated them, and that's what it's going to look like again.
Okay, fair enough. As you may have heard, a number of business leaders in the city have been meeting in a state of, I would characterize it as panic. I'm not sure if they would agree, but they seem to be trying to rally support for Eric Adams or even for Andrew Cuomo or anybody in order to try and stop Zohran Mamdani from becoming the mayor. What would your message to them be?
My message would be,
Open Presents, thank you for the 100 gifted subs. Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you 3 ways you can use your smart.
Wait, this is the guy?
First thing we want to do is download the YouTube VPN app, which we can do through the first link in the description.
Fuck are you gonna do, bro? Write a petition? Let's do a crusade, he says. Let's do a fucking crusade, he says. Let's hang Hassan and Mamdani for treason, he says. The fuck are you gonna do? Go on a fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do? You skinny bitch. Ugly ass. That's not him, it's this. Oh, it's even worse. Oh my God. Does he even show his face in it?
Ping for US servers is kind of high, or there is.
Oh no, it's even worse. It's even worse. Guess who he's a fan of? Awesome. First time catching him on Lamau, the infamous chat.
No US server, so. But the ping hasn't really affected my gameplay at all up until this point. There has been mine.
Bro, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how this fucking dude who's advocating to hang me for treason is mad at me, okay? Is mad at me and doesn't realize that Trump is going to cook his family, okay? Trump is going to destroy this motherfucker's family. Like your grandparents and all of the people that you love and cherish are going to get fucked over with this new Trump tax cut